Okay, well, we'll call the South Whitley Community Public Library Board of Trustees meeting to order for May 14th at 6 p.m. Let's review the meeting minutes of our April meeting, and if there's any additions or corrections, please speak up. Okay, if anyone doesn't have any additions or corrections, I'll ask for a motion to approve our April 9th, 2026 board meeting minutes. I have a motion.
I'll move.
A motion and a second from Chris. All in favor of accepting our board meeting minutes from April 9th? Saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. We can go on to the treasurer's report.
So the financial reports, first document you see there. As always, I compare this same time last year. So the 4/30 of 2026 operating funds sits at 1.6 million compared to 1.43 million this time last year. Gift funds, right where it's been over the last couple, or the last year anyways. Rainy days got 412,000 in it, compared to 341 this time last year. State Tech Grant Fund is down to 8,400 compared to 13,500 this time last year. And that's basically it. The rest of them are just clearing accounts. So currently, as of right now, we got with the a little over 2 million compared to 1.8 million this time last year. The appropriations report. Want to see every account there on the right. The percent remaining be above 66.67, which would be 4 months through the year. Unemployment, you'll see in the personnel services, is down to 54.2. That was due to a one-time payment.
I think we pay that like quarterly. The first one's always the largest.
But overall, personnel services 2% above budget there at 69.7. Supplies, there's all of them are in range, but total 19% above budget. Other professional services, legal and technology. Some one-time charges in the other professional services, legal and technology. So that one's down 2.6%, but it should normalize hopefully. But that is our problem child normally. Gas, with it being colder here the first 4 months of the year, it's down to 59.1, but we'll monitor that. We may have to do a transfer at the end of the year, but hopefully with these nice days coming in, that'll normalize. Buildings and structures repair is slightly below the 66.67. There is 66.2. But overall, in other services and charges, 8.5% above budget. And then periodicals and newspapers and capital outlays is slightly below. But I believe we canceled some magazine subscriptions, so moving forward we should be fine in that category.
Yeah, in April there were actually no expenditures from that one. That's just where it was. Yeah. But then we canceled half of the magazines because they just weren't circulating.
So next month you'll see that one be back above. Grand total 5% above budget. We appropriated for 26.
Okay, any questions on the financial report from our treasurer? I have a motion to accept our treasurer's report.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Motion?
A second.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve our monthly treasurer's report for Thursday, May 14th, 2026. All in favor by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we'll hear our director's report and we'll pass around our claims.
Alright, so programs and collections, we had 2 attendees for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and the next showing will be a Crocodile Dundee. I'm wondering if playing some of the older movies is not getting the attendance that we were kind of hoping for. Part of the problem is last year there just weren't a lot of good movies that came out that we've played, so hopefully that picks back up at some point. Philharmonic performance of Giraffes Can't Dance had 32 attendees. There was contract confusion about the genealogical program within Clay Camp. We're looking into doing a similar program with a different person. Grit and Glory program, that was a genealogical program about local sports. That had 10 attendees. We had 41 people for the Superhero and Jedi Training Day. That was really fun. We had 12 attendees for the flower arranging class. We did decide to put on a little tea party down here, kind of for Mother's Day and just for spring, and we had 17 attendees for that. American Roots concert with Emily Ann Thompson had 15 attendees. We will be having a vegetable plant swap on Saturday. As some of you noted, the tomatoes do look a little bit rough, but some of the other ones look really nice. We are going to be having a harp soloist play a concert on June 4th, and the summer reading kickoff is being planned for June 6th. We're looking at having a petting farm with a miniature cow. We're also bringing in an ice cream truck from Esterline Farm and a high striker game. This will be a block party again, kind of like we did last year. So we have gotten approval to block off the road that we chose last year as well. And we are finalizing some of the summer reading plans now. Staff and library development, 4 staff members and Laura will be attending the ILF Regional Conference tomorrow in South Bend. The Indiana State Library annual report was completed and finally submitted. We have reached out to Chris Judy and Wesley Hackenden about having a political meet and greet like we did for the local candidates. They are the Republican and Democratic candidates for the Indiana State House of Representatives election. The same rules and procedures are going to apply in the same way, just to make sure we maintain political neutrality. Planning on having a staff in-service day for August 21st. I've set up 2 sessions with Paula Newcomb from the State Library. Outreach, sent the year in review handout to the 2 townships, the 2 towns, the appointing bodies, and State House and Senate representatives as well. I've been attending the county council meetings. I was introduced to the president, Thor Hodges, and he has recognized that I've been there to kind of give a little bit of an update of what's going on at the library, like the other Mike from Peabody has been as well. So that's nice for making some relationship there. I've also been able to meet Tiffany Deakins, the auditor, and Stacy Probus, the commissioner there, who represents our area. Jen Engel has been working on projects for partnering with Kids Connect over the summer. I was contacted by the Community Foundation to be a distribution center for food packs for kids over the summer. I definitely agreed to that. We're just waiting on the details of how that will work. Richland Township has requested to be removed from the library district. More on this later. Building maintenance, I'm still waiting on a roof quote. They got swamped with some of the storms, so they've just been behind on stuff. It's not something that's pressing right now, so I'm giving them a little bit more time, but give it another week and I'm going to start looking for another company to get a quote for. We've spread mulch across the front of the building. We may investigate using more natural mulch in the future, just because we might. Same day, we also purchased the soil and built the 2 raised beds in the courtyard. Technology, nothing really to report there. Financial, the Finance Committee met after the last meeting. We discussed property taxes for fiscal year 27. Investing tax dollars in student loan repayment was discussed that we should leave the property tax levy where it is for 2027. It is currently $565,794. It'll be a slightly different just due to rounding and stuff like that. We decided to move forward with getting more information from Trust Indiana, which is an organization where we can invest funds while trying to stay more liquid. A representative from them will be here in June to talk to the board. We're also looking into some potential policies for student loan repayment, as this may be a good benefit to offer due to some tax incentives. And there has been some changes in interpretation of the law for the gift fund, which I will also discuss later. I'm sorry. That page is part of the report. That was just a copy of it.
Need to vote on anything on the report, do we?
I don't think,
Okay, we'll go to the old business director review since we've got them turned in. I'll get with the personnel committee, and we'll review them and sit down here in the next week or so.
Sounds good.
Or two, whenever. Okay.
I'll get you
All right. Okay, we'll go to new business, and we'll go on to Richland Township update, and Laura and Jesse maybe can talk a little bit about their meeting.
Yes, so last Thursday evening, Laura and I had a meeting with a Richland Township trustee, Kim Arnold, and two other Richland Township residents, Angela O'Reilly and Emily Studebaker. Basically, they wanted to say that they were gonna send us a letter and ask that they be removed from the library coverage area. So the letter came, it's in our packets here. We heard very similar things to what we heard when the public came and talked at the 2024 meeting at our budget hearing. I guess we just kind of talked about property taxes.
Right, because they went up so high for next year.
Mhm.
So when property taxes go up like that, even if we don't even if we maintain whatever we have it this year as whatever percentage of, I don't know, what are we at right now? Is it millage? What is that? What's that called? How they figure out our money, what we get?
it's just the property tax levy. So
Right,
this year was.
so it's a
10%.
levy.
Yeah.
I'm from
it's-
Michigan and they were
Okay.
called something else.
Gotcha. So this
Okay.
year was the $560-some thousand.
Right, but the
Uh,
percentage is chosen by, the percentage that's based off of.
The way it works, to my understanding, is that there's multiple organizations that have property taxing authority, and the property taxes are determined by what all of those people are requesting.
Okay. So when our property taxes go up a whopping big bit, like they are for next year, our share of that bigger pie would be bigger without raising that percentage.
Not necessarily.
Ah,
But it is, it is, I'm assuming.
I would think,
It's really
They're
based,
taking
it's
in
really
more
based off
money.
of that levy number and then the maximum levy growth quotient. So if, like, the assessments of the properties go up significantly, which raises the cap at which the property taxes can be capped at. So it's in the Indiana Constitution that residential properties are 1%, farmland is 2%, business is 3%. So the assessments going up significantly raises what that cap is, but we will only raise it necessarily what the MLGQ would be. So if it goes up 10%, if your property value goes up 10%, but we only request, like the last several years, it's been a 4%. So I mean, it doesn't always equal out, that's what I'm saying. But there's also multiple different organizations trying to pull from that pool of available property tax.
So, but even if the number's bigger, 4% would be bigger, wouldn't it? If
it's based on the total someone pays,
The 4% is based off of what it was, what our budget, or what our levy was
So
previous
if we
year.
choose to grow our budget,
Mhm.
that's what affects what they pay.
Yeah, but then,
So-
like, again, there's a bunch of
There
different
is,
organizations
yeah.
that pull out of that.
But it's based off our previous budget,
But
not
it's based off
not the
previous
levy.
budget, not.
And so we always have that number of like 2 to 4% or something, and we
Yeah.
ask for 3, right, or something.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it is, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
So it's based off our previous year's budget, not the increase in the
not the
levy.
increase in not the increase in the assessments.
Okay, or
Yeah.
assessments,
Yeah,
okay.
the levy, if we raised it 4%, our budget would go up 4%, our levy would go up 4%, to whatever that number would be.
Okay.
so yes, some of those the library taxes are downright scary numbers, but then they have lots of property. So how do you balance that?
Yeah, and I think that's where most of this comes from, is in Richland Township. We had 3 or 4 big farmers, ag people, and they don't necessarily like what the library gets, because we have an excess right now.
Hmm.
So that's one of the things. that they don't like, just because in comparison with the township and our volunteer fire department, the library gets more and has more. There again, I think the township's budget process is the same as ours, as far as taking advantage of a growth, turning in their budget, complying to DLGF rules, just like we all have to do. But they're noticing a difference there and just aren't necessarily happy. Some of the things that we talked about after talking with Cody, were just reassuring. One of the things that they brought up was that people that say live in a different area outside of our coverage area, they were told even though they have property in Richland Township, they couldn't get a library card. That's not true. Anybody who has property in Richland Township, whether they live there or not, can get one. So, I mean, there's some things like that too that, are, I think, misunderstandings or misinformation.
The only thing that I can think of for
So-
that is if somebody came in and requested a card, that we asked for your ID so we can get your information.
And the address
And the
was-
address would be
yeah.
outside, but then they didn't inform the person that they own property
Yeah.
in our district. That's the only thing that I can think of for that, because that, I mean, at the library, we know that those people need library cards. So,
Yeah.
And then, even then, like, say you would go onto Beacon to look that person up.
Mhm.
Are they in Beacon, does it show they own property in one of our townships? But some of the land is in a corporation name,
Yeah,
so that doesn't help.
It's kind of hard to,
yeah, because if we look up the
Truly
name,
decide.
but it's within a corporation, it wouldn't pop up for that, or if we're looking up a
Mm-hmm.
specific address, it would look up a specific address.
So they'd have to go through the extra step of bringing in their tax bill or something like that.
Yeah, that would probably be the best way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just something that shows that they're a partial owner of the property,
sure.
or a full owner.
They also look at our tax rate compared to surrounding libraries. That was another one of their concerns. Peabody's is lower than where ours sits. And there again, Laura brought up that their population probably looks different than what ours
Right.
does. And also they have probably more businesses,
They have,
There
bigger
again,
businesses, so they're.
just a
right.
different picture.
There's also a difference in size of library versus population total. So we're a good sized library with the population that we have, which does mean
I
that
would
we have to,
agree.
we gotta pay for the building, we gotta pay for upkeep, we gotta do all that
Sure.
sort of thing. We gotta have the staff to run a larger building.
Yes, that's, one of them at least said something about we don't need that many staff.
Yeah,
That
so
is-
kind
that
of
is
as the
something that
meeting unfolded,
they
one of
have
the
knowledge
things, right, one of the things that we asked were, well, what were things that we could do that would make you want to stay part of the library service area? And they talked about if we decrease our budget, that would decrease their taxes that they pay to us. They talked about us being more frugal with the budget because we have a lot of programs that in their opinion are not well attended. I don't really think they understood the concept of the library of things.
Not at all.
So
They
we
think
talked
it's
about
a
that,
waste.
how that was
Yeah.
a trendy thing, and depending on where you live, you may not have access to,
Yeah, they
something
don't-
that you want to borrow, something that you,
But people who
So-
have money can buy whatever
Mhm.
they need to use. They
Yes.
don't think of the people who don't.
right, and that's where too many staff members got brought up. And Laura did an excellent job just basically saying that, we need our full-time people, we need some part-time people so that we're able to stay open for all of our business hours.
And grow community,
and grow-
because people
yes.
need to know who you are
To see
day
familiar
in and day out,
faces.
so they see familiar
Yeah.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially at a smaller rural library, it's a very important thing. Like,
Right.
you don't necessarily expect that at
Yeah.
Allen County, but you would expect that at someplace like us. Additionally, I just want to say that the library of things is actually circulating really well.
Yeah.
When you look at the statistics,
Yeah.
it's actually circulating well.
And again, I always remind people when they look at the building we have, we've had 3 big benefactors over the history of this building, starting with Mr. Graham in the 60s, who basically helped pay for our library, the original footprint from our little white building that we had when I was a kid to the new one. Then to the east, where we display our rocks, Miriam Bullinger, who was our former librarian, left money for that. And now we have Alan Fox, who gave us the money for our auditorium. So a lot of it came from gifts. Yes, we collect taxes every year, but when you see this building, you've got to understand the benefactors that gave lots of money to this library over the past 60, 70 years, 60 years, let's say. So,
I guess I would also question if they were to pull out. I mean, their taxes aren't going to go down, are they? I mean, realistically, that money that would go to us would go to somebody else, wouldn't it?
That's my opinion, that's what I've
kinda
heard from
what I
other
think
people,
too, but-
that basically that slack would end up being taken over by somebody else.
Yeah,
Most-
I mean-
Most likely, there might be a bit of a reduction, but it's probably not gonna be, it wouldn't be as soon as they would expect, and it's probably not gonna be as much as they would expect.
So even if Richland Township pulls out, doesn't mean that that tax money is going to go to the Richland Township Fire Department.
right.
Right.
No, they would still have to grow their budget
The
the same
Richland
as
Township would have to grow their budget, grow their levy, to be able to send it that way.
Yeah. Kim also did state that, way back when, there was some kind of a yearly contract that the trustees signed with the library, and that's how Richland Township got coverage. So she said she wouldn't be opposed to doing some sort of a yearly contract. So I don't know, I don't know the outline of
That is
that.
something that.
That was before Kim's time or my time, so.
That is something that libraries are able to do, is we can enter into contracts with either a town or a township or something along those lines.
And
they generally, the organization usually sets aside a certain amount of money to either fully or partly pay for cards, and then when that money's gone, that money's gone. I believe you had mentioned that they said that they would be willing to like pay for the cards of.
So we ran some, you can talk if
Running-
you want, we ran
running
some
those
numbers on
numbers.
this, because I had questions.
Yeah, that would
About
be,
what that would look like for them.
that would be around $80,000 a year, $60,000 to $80,000 a year.
That the Richland Township would have to pay us for them to.
For all of the people who have cards currently to continue to have cards.
So that many people have cards and,
We ran the numbers, people living in Richland Township who have cards with us, there's 392 when we ran it. I estimated based off of current expenditures, and if we drop those current expenditures by $200,000, because the way that fee is determined is operating expenditures over population. So because of the population reduction, even if we reduced our expenditures by $200,000 from last year, it'd be about $150 for a library card. Multiplying that by the 392 people, it's about $60,000. Without that $200,000 reduction, it's about, I want to say 212, which means that it would be about 80-ish thousand.
And what about the stigma of asking for poor relief? Because basically that's what it is. If you go to the township trustee and ask for money for a library card, that's considered poor relief.
And I don't know if you can do that, right?
I don't know if people would want to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is that everything you would like to talk about?
I think so. That was all the notes I took.
You would also express something about concern about a tornado center. That's the
Oh,
other
so
thing
in the
we
end
talked
here,
about.
when we were they were wondering if there was a way that we could allot money or help fund some things that need replaced or updated there. And
There's not.
I don't think that's legal, is what we
Yeah,
talked
there's-
about basically,
there's not.
is we can't
You
give
can't use,
them.
you can't give tax money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were just saying, their budgets are down to the absolute, penny, and they have to make big time decisions as far as what is important and what's not.
Could we hold like a
Whereas-
fundraiser, like help them out with that, like run some kind of
Oh,
fundraiser?
I'd be more than willing to
Yeah, and
talk,
we
I'd be
did
more than willing to
ask,
talk to them about, for grant opportunities and
Yeah.
help them with that.
Yeah.
and what can we get
I think
for
the new
fundraising
fire
to do.
chief
Part of
is-
the problem is that they
yeah.
won't respond to me.
Yeah. So I think the new fire chief is working on some grants and things like that, but we asked too about, the fish fry and some of the things that are held like that. and they said that was not a big moneymaker for them. So the ticket that you buy to eat covers the expenses of the food that goes into that. And then basically they have donation stations like a fireman's boot, and if you put money in there, that 100% goes to the fire station. But the other things that you would, buy your fish, all the expenses are deducted out of that pool. So it's actually not a good fundraiser.
What did they call it? A social
It's for the
service?
community,
Yeah.
is what they said.
Community social gathering.
So,
It's no different than the ice cream social that our
Yeah.
Ms.
Sure.
Fred
Not
has
about
down here.
ice cream.
And
Yeah.
yeah.
I won't get into fire department stuff, so.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about it. This is
Yeah.
just kind of a conversation
Mhm.
that we had back and forth, just.
Okay. Cody and I have talked a little bit about this. Why don't you share what we feel of how things should go with Richland as far as contacting them and things?
So, looking at the letter, very formal. The problem is, well, let's just look at it. So, dear library, as trustee of the Richland Township and in consultation with members of the Richland Township Advisory Board, I am formally initiating the process to cease Richland Township's participation in the South Whitley Community Public Library Taxing District. Pursuant to Indiana Code 36-12-2-26, we request a joint meeting between Richland Township Advisory Board and the SWCPL Board of Trustees to discuss the adoption of identical resolutions for this withdrawal. I request a summary of the current tax levy generated by Richland Township's residents, an itemized list of any outstanding indebtedness or contractual obligations for which Richland Township remains legally responsible, a proposed date for a joint session to finalize the adoption of the resolutions required for the filing with the Whitley County Recorder and the Indiana State Library. We look forward to your prompt response to schedule this meeting to ensure an orderly transition for our constituents. It does also look like they CC'd the auditor. I did give her a call just to see if she had gotten that or give her a heads up. She had not gotten that yet. So I don't know if there's actually one in the mail for her, but it looks like they did, so I figured I'd call and see. So I looked up the Indiana Code. One major concern that I have, and I've checked with the Indiana State Library, I sent them the letter and then I received confirmation before the meeting that by reading this is in agreement with theirs, that the Indiana Code is actually for the dissolution of the entire library. It is not the
So
removal
it's
of them
not
from the
just,
tax.
you can't
district.
take out one
Yes.
tax district.
Right, it is for the entire library to go away.
So
That
it
seems
would
absurd.
dissolve us.
Yeah. The entire
Seems a bit
organization.
extreme.
So,
The way that tax code is written, is that what you mean?
the way this Indiana Code is written, yes. And the Indiana State Library is not aware of any way that a township could remove themselves from the taxing district, or any process, there's no process in the code for them to be able to do so. This is the only thing that the state library referenced is anything kind of similar. And then reading the code, which you all have, it is all of the relevant governing bodies would have to get together. And my reading is that they would have to unanimously pass resolutions to dissolve the library district. And then we would stop being a library.
Would we
You'd
just
stop
then
being-
reestablish the library with a smaller
No.
district? No.
I don't think you can just close and open the next day.
Yeah, no. See, all of this would be shut down. And then it would have to be started up from new. The new would not necessarily own the property. They wouldn't have money in the bank. They would not be South Whitley Community Public Library. It would be an entirely new organization. So,
Well, there has to be a way that township got into the organization, so there has to be a way they can get out.
there is not an Indiana code.
They're stuck?
Yep,
That's not good.
that's just what's in the code.
Mhm.
So the only option that is in there is for the library to cease to be. So that would involve the Cleveland Township Board, the South Whitley Town Council, the Largo Town Council, and the Richland Township Board, and us. So all 5 organizations would have to agree to dissolve the taxing district. I am taking the most charitable view and saying that they did not necessarily have a lawyer look over this letter. to give them advice on what the legal code actually means. And that they are misreading it, as opposed to actually asking us to dissolve the library.
And who defined it for us? Who defined the
So,
code?
I read the
letter
code,
for us?
and then I talked to the Indiana State Library, their legal consultant.
Okay.
So there's that, and first I would like to just clarify, does the board wish to dissolve the library?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to actually get that on record. So then we need to actually talk about what the path forward is going to be. So I see a few different options of what we could do. Since we are not in agreement, and the code is, in my opinion, and the Indiana State Library's opinion, referenced incorrectly, we could simply ignore it. We could draft a letter from the board in response to it. We could draft a letter, or we could contact a lawyer and have the lawyer draft a letter, either approved by the board as a whole or by a committee that we could set up to deal with some of this stuff. Or we could, this would be the most drastic option, but I want to present it, take it as a request to dissolve the district and contact the other bodies to see if they are amenable to it as well. My suggestion would be to contact a lawyer and have the lawyer draft a letter with their legal interpretation and send it to the township trustee. I would suggest contacting John Goff out of Indianapolis. He's an attorney in Indianapolis who has served on library boards and has worked with library law before. And since this is kind of a specialist area, some of the other LSC directors have worked with him in the past, and they say his rates are fairly similar to what a local lawyer's would be as well. So I would need approval to contact him if you're okay with contacting him.
I mean, do we feel like if we were to contact them, like if they were to return your call, that like any of this would be necessary? Like once they found out that code that they're referencing.
There's one guy on that board that's not gonna stop until this
It's
library
got to be
is
pointed out
done.
by the law.
Okay.
It's gotta be this
Okay.
lawyer telling them, in my opinion.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, in my opinion, the mailing of the letter, the actual legal request, it's moved it into the realm of
Okay.
gotta get a lawyer.
I was just curious.
And I don't wanna
That would be
I don't wanna
nice.
be in
That would be
contact
nice.
back and forth.
Yeah.
Because it'll be more of he said, she said. I feel an attorney should be our point of contact with Richland, and I think if anyone gets contacted by Richland, we should ask them to contact Corey or our attorney.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Side,
Sure.
what's all this stuff about going through our Indiana government of combining townships?
We looked up a little bit of that the other day, and we're not fully versed in that because that's township stuff. We're not fully versed in how townships work. But it does look like the Indiana State is going to start paying a little bit more attention to them and making sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and if they're not, dissolving the townships and merging them with another organization.
Yeah.
And what would that other organization be?
It would be one of the neighboring townships.
You could end up with one township
So
with
if,
the county.
okay.
so in that situation, say if Washington Township just wasn't doing what they were supposed to, but Richland was, the state could decide to merge them with Richland. That would be a weird geographic choice, but those are just the two that I picked.
Okay, yeah.
But that's, yeah.
Yeah, because that would enter libraries.
Yeah, it could affect library districts, but we're not 100% sure how.
Yeah.
That is going to be more applicable for 2029. 'cause
Okay,
that's
so
when
it's
that
way
merger
in the
would be.
future, well.
Yeah, the couple years.
Right.
Yeah, that's when that merger date is going to get closer.
Before I make this motion, Laura and Jesse, is that all right with you that, since you're representing Richland, that if somebody
Yes,
gives you
yes.
guys a call to say, hey,
Yes.
we've talked to you guys once, and with the way things are and the request for closure,
Yeah.
that's what you want, we feel it's best you talk to our librarian or our attorney. That way it takes us all out of it, and I think takes it off of you too, especially.
Yeah.
It's not that we didn't agree with them, that, yes, we think $6,000 to the library is too much.
Well, I mean,
6,000.
in that point,
I want
This
particular
this
person.
one property owner.
we all, and that's just it, we can all, property tax is what it is.
Is what it is.
Assessments have
You owe
gone
that
up every year
property,
since
and that's it.
2020, like,
Yeah.
I told them I feel it too, just on a smaller schedule, or a smaller span here, because I am a homesteader, I'm not a farmer with, and I don't own that much ground, So I guess for me,
Which means you also
since
have
these
less
are my
income and less
neighbors,
capital.
and I probably pay a lot more income tax than some do, just because of how we live, right? I guess for me, these are my friends, these are my neighbors, the whole reason I'm here is because I wanted to meet people in the community, and I wanted to support it, and I wanted to help it. So, all that being said, I think that if we do it the most professional way, the legal way, that's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it should go on record that,
It
we
should.
started looking at ways of not increasing funds
Yeah.
or
And that's what
increasing
we
somebody's
told them,
tax.
it was
But,
none of our desires to.
with the new SB1 and all the stuff coming down the line in 2028, we opted to do what we did this past year. We also had a finance committee meeting where we talked about some of the things that we are not wanting to do
Yeah.
because of what was brought up in '24, and Cody was already in the process of working on all that, so.
Yeah, and that's what we
It's-
tried to let them know, that we, understood, and it was not our desire to,
Yeah.
continue to, raise property tax at this point, but, there's changes coming down the pipeline that we had to make decisions about.
And historically, the .18 tax rate posted is what it has been for several years. right?
Yes.
20 plus.
It's ranged between 0.2 and like 0.5.
So it's not necessarily that percentage that they're picking out. The problem is the amount of property taxes has gone up. The .18 has not gone up.
Yeah.
It may have gone up a little bit here and there,
It's
but not,
fluctuated between.
we went back and looked 20 years ago, it was
14, yeah.
it was
14,
0.18, so.
somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the problem is, the property taxes have not gone down, they've just went up.
Yeah.
So it's
Okay.
It's a numerator denominator issue. It's not necessarily we're asking for more money. It's
Good clarification.
inflation,
Yeah.
property taxes have gone up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there are some landowners that own a lot of land and try not to pay taxes. That's not my thing, so.
I would like to express just officially, personally, I do not appreciate property taxes. I wish we had a different system. I don't know what that system would be. But if the SB1 bill, or SEA1 had not passed, and then the one from this year, I would probably be suggesting that we had lowered our property taxes by $150,000 to $200,000. But with lit most likely being significantly reduced or fully going away, that is not something that I believe I can responsibly suggest and follow my fiduciary responsibilities.
Okay. So I'd like to bring a motion that we have Cody contact an attorney, and his name is
John Goff.
John Goff of Indianapolis, to represent us on the Richland Township dealings that we're currently having. I hear a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion, a second.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor by saying aye?
Aye.
And opposed? Okay. Thank you guys for your patience, and I bit my lip, so here we go.
Sadly, we're not fully done with this topic.
Oh, okay.
I would also like a vote from the board that if there are additional meetings, that I will be required to be there. Because
Yes,
that
please.
also takes any pressure off of you guys, because then you can say, if anybody says they don't want me at a meeting, then you can say, well, the board officially voted on it, he has to be there.
No. I make a motion that with Cody, with any meetings that would happen between Richland Township, any other county or township or a government or organization, that Cody must be in attendance in those meetings. I hear
Motion.
a motion and a second.
Second.
All right, all in favor for Cody attending those meetings, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? Okay, thank you, Cody.
Would we be willing to form a new committee to deal with this? Just as, so I can have a point group that, say, if he comes back with a letter, I can send it to the committee, make sure the committee approves of it before sending it off. and various decisions.
Do you want it to be one we already have? Do you want it
I
to be
would
financial?
say that just falls under the financial committee.
Yeah.
Financial committee?
Okay,
Okay.
that's,
If the
we're
board-
talking financial dollars here, so I would
Yeah.
just assume that fall under that.
Okay, and
Okay.
just for clarification, that is Dave, Chris, and yes. Okay, so contacted that. Sorry, I got some notes.
I have a question.
Yes.
If we were disillusioned, if this would, and all funds had to be distributed, put somewhere, because you said we would dissolve,
Yes,
would some of those funds go to Richland Township?
I have no idea.
I wondered if that's how they were reading this,
Yeah.
because that's how I'm reading it here, and that's why I wondered. Okay,
Yeah.
just curious.
Given that they did technically request the dissolution of the library, I feel it would be responsible to inform our appointing bodies, various town boards, and the Cleveland Township trustee. Also, obviously, I've reached out to the Indiana State Library, they brought it to the attention of their leadership committee. I also would like to reach out to the ILF, the Indiana Library Federation. They are a nonprofit that works with libraries and stuff. They're the ones putting on the conference tomorrow. Are we good with that?
Mhm.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And then messaging moving forward, do we want to wait for the lawyer, or should we start looking at informing the public that this is a request, this is something that's in process?
I'd
I
wait for a
would too.
lawyer.
I don't think anything needs to be posted
Yeah.
Okay.
yet. Yeah, I mean, I'd just get in contact with the lawyer and explain what the next steps need to be.
Okay. All right. I think that's everything I had on that topic. We're done with the first item of new business.
We can address this part later, but as my position on the South Whitley Town Council, if there would ever have to be a meeting between Cleveland Township, Richland Township, town councils, the library, trustees or whatever, I'm not sure what I would have to do. I would probably abstain from any vote on this board for the town, of the town council. I don't know that I would be able to vote for both, but I would consult with the town attorney on that part if needed. So hopefully it doesn't get to that point. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can come to a resolution and everybody can work together, play nice together, and we can figure something out.
Yep. You want to take us to next?
Financial policies discussion?
So, given the time, this is not something that's necessarily urgent. These are potential policies that I wrote up for the investment policy and that student loan repayment policy. This isn't something we have to look at today. I would suggest kind of pushing that off till next month.
Okay. And this ARPA fund resolution?
So that
Oh,
was.
ARPA? ARPA.
That is it.
There's no R there, is there?
So that was a fund that we have for American Rescue Plan grants that came in. We've used them, it's at zero. So this is just a resolution to remove that and close that fund. So,
That was during COVID, wasn't it?
yeah, that was during COVID. So that is just, we need you to sign where you want to vote and then a verbal vote.
So yay, is that?
Yay is close the fund.
Yeah, yeah,
Which there's no reason to have it.
okay. Hmm?
Sitting there waiting for me.
Okay, do we need a motion on this or just vote, I have a vote to close the ARPA fund.
That we need a motion.
Do I have a motion to close this?
Make a motion to accept the resolution to close the ARPA fund.
Second?
Second.
All right, motion and a second to close the ARPA fund. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. There you go, Ruth. Appreciate it.
Then,
What, gift fund changes?
yes, so in March, the SBOA, the State Board of Accounts, put out one of their bulletins about how they're reinterpreting the Indiana law around gift funds. So previously, we were able to use our gift funds without appropriating them in any way. They would just like take a vote and then we could do that. Now their reinterpretation of that, which is coming down to them from the Office of the Attorney General, is requiring, it's strange, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. So it is requiring that unrestricted gift funds, donations that come to us without any express purpose, be used, or they have to be appropriated to be used through an additional appropriation process that is not connected at all to our budget or the MLGQ somehow. I don't, like I said, I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. But funds that are gifted to the library for an express purpose, we can use them for that express purpose without appropriating them. Yeah, it's just very strange. We don't use our gift fund for too terribly much, so it's not really going to affect us. It's really hard on other libraries to use their gift funds for summer reading prizes, actual operating expenditures, and that sort of thing. But I just wanted to let you guys know that is different. Also, with that, I was going to suggest with board approval that the change in stuff that we receive at the desk for donations, that we post a sign and just, that says we will take those donations and give them to our friends group, because that is a group that they wouldn't have to appropriate them in any way. And by that, it's like if somebody copies 2 pages, 20-cent charge, they give us a quarter, don't want 5 cents back. So we're talking cents and dollars, not anything huge.
And you have that glass or whatever labeled as donated to.
Well, I figured we just put up a sign that said any donations would be donated to our friends group, and then we have a bag.
Unless
in our-
otherwise specified.
Unless otherwise specified, yeah. And like I said, this is dollars and cents, it's not too terribly much.
So is that gift fund extra step to try to keep people from using it as pocket money? Is that just an extra formal step saying this is where this money is going?
We don't actually understand what the purpose is. And I'm saying that because this is actually a summary that was written by another member from the directors group, who's very good at understanding all of these things. And the conversation was that we basically don't understand the purpose of the change.
And yeah, let's go back historically. I mean, the gift fund's currently sitting at $9,302, right?
Yeah.
And it's been probably that dollar amount for many years,
Yeah, it's probably
right?
fairly similar.
Whereas funds that Dave was talking about earlier, those were designated for certain projects. So like the Fox money didn't go, I don't think it went into the gift fund. I'd have to confirm that, but.
Yeah, that was before me.
But this would be for funds not directed at anything, right?
Right.
That's what your suggestion
Yeah,
is
just
for
like
friend
the,
desk.
yeah, just like somebody's like, oh, it's $4, here's a 5, I don't care about the change. So I just like board approval, if you want to do that on.
And that is to put our change or donations into,
Yeah, like front desk donations go into the front group.
okay, front desk donations go into the Friends of the Library group. I hear a motion.
I so move.
Second?
I'll second that.
All right, motion is second for the front desk change to go in the Friends of the Library fund. All in favor by saying aye.
Aye.
So
Opposed?
that makes it restricted, right?
Well, then, That's actually
Not-
being donated to the Friends of the Library Group,
Right,
which is a
so
separate
that's the
organization.
donation,
Yeah.
so it's not even,
Yeah, it's not attached to us. But then the Friends of the Library Group is there to do things for the staff, run the book sale, support programming. I don't know, we haven't come up with everything just yet, but.
Well, this would
Various things.
this would just be for now until more information comes out about that.
right.
Right.
Oh, I was just thinking, just making that the policy. But if you would.
But there's gonna be more information coming about the gift fund itself, right?
Not
Says at the
necessarily.
workshops.
Oh, yes. So, yes, there will probably be more information on one of the LGF workshops.
To better inform libraries
Yeah.
about what this means. That's what I mean.
Okay.
We may have to do something else, is my point.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. On to Friends of, are we ready for group life, Friends
Friends
group?
group update?
Yeah.
Yep. So, we have some members from our Friends group here.
Hello.
Good.
And they are going to give us an update on some of the stuff that they've been doing.
So yeah, we are part of the Friends Group, the board. I'm Andrea Baldwin. This is Marcy, and then this is Michelle.
I'm just a friend, I'm not on the board.
Yeah, she's not on the board. So basically, we're just trying to support the library. The Friends is a good way, like you guys were already discussing, to take funds that the library has policies and stuff, and then everything that we do, we're gonna put back into the library. So we've discussed stuff like doing merchandise. People seem to really want library bags and swag and stuff that we would sell probably just at like the book sale and stuff. And we've got a lot of different ideas, like book cart, having a book cart out possibly that people can come and buy. We're going to start taking donations from the public. So if somebody's got a big donation, we're going to come take it for the book sale. We'll come pick it up and help with everything too.
Material donations.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so we'll take, and I'll put out, information, making sure that we get nice, people aren't bringing stuff that they would have thrown in the dumpster and just to get rid of it. So we'll have a lot of guidelines for that. And I used to work in the library, so I do know a lot about that. And Mercy works for one, so we're just people that love libraries and wanted to help get this going. And then, the book sale ended up making $580. So I think that was like close to triple.
It's close to triple what we've done in the past.
So we're looking at maybe doing a fall book sale as well. We have a lot of books left over. I can't believe how many books went out and how many are still left. Like, there's just so many books. But that's good. I mean, people were so excited. They're great quality. And so we were talking about hopefully doing a fall, also doing a fall book sale probably around the fall festival time. And then just we have a good volunteer group that's been helping with the book sale, and we're hoping to get involved with more other stuff, and just being able to help with bigger events. And we're going to discuss our budget more too, so we'll figure out what we want to help you guys with. So, but I don't know if you want to use something.
I'm just excited to support the libraries.
So, yeah, does anybody have any questions?
No, we think yes, we're being a part of it.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of libraries have a friends group, so I think it's just a good way for people to be more connected to their library. Some people solely joined because they wanted that preview sale day of the book sale to come, and I don't blame them because I think that's a great reason to come. So, I don't know, we're trying to help the community more as well because we're passionate about everything, so.
How big is your group?
Right now, we've got, what,
20 members?
20, I think we're up to 20.
And some of those are family memberships, so.
Yeah, we've got, big family, and, so she alone is nine people. So, yeah, but we've got a good group going, and, a lot of people are connected to the library somehow, or come in a lot. So, I think they just feel really excited that they get to help, and I don't know, I love the book sale, we had so much fun, so, yeah.
And I would like to thank the Friends for running that and moving all the books and.
Yes, thank you. The 9 people in her family moved like all the books on their own, so thank thank you so much.
That went really well.
Yeah, and yeah, the book sale was a lot of fun, and we're gonna keep doing that, and that's probably where we would sell like the merchandise and stuff, so that people can buy the merchandise at the book sale. Possibly come to some of the bigger events and try to be like, hey, buy this, so yeah. And if anyone has any ideas or suggestions, please let us know. So yeah, that's all we had to talk about.
Thank you. Any miscellaneous for us? More public comment? All right, we can adjourn then tonight. And next will be June 11th.